Hey, welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you'd purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today we'll be taking a look at this Panerai, the Luminor Chronograph. Its reference number, well, literally 1111, or PAM01111. PAM01111, you get the idea. It's basically the Luminor Chrono Goldtech with the blue sunray dial, sunburst dial, also known as the Blue Night or Blue Notte, as I believe it is in Italian. I'll be going over the case, the dial, what there is of a bezel, the crown functions, as well as the movement, and this nice alligator blue alligator leather strap. I'll be giving my thoughts on these throughout this video. So starting off with this case, we do have a 44mm sort of a cushion style, well, it's a sandwich case basically, as is typical of Panerai. 44mm, that's sort of the diagonal from the 2 to 8 o'clock position or the 10 to 4 o'clock position, but that's a little bit difficult to fully measure because the chronograph buttons on the left side of the case versus the large crown guard on the right side of the case do tend to increase the watch case size just a little bit, but aside from that, it's basically 44mm. It wears much larger than that, as I'll show you later in the video. All right, so taking a look at the overall construction of this case, it is, as they call, Goldtech, or in other words, their gold alloy, basically a rose gold that really complements the deep hues of this blue on the dial, as well as the deep hues of the blue on the alligator leather strap. So very nice complementary color scheme here. Looks very nice, and it sort of gives it a more of an accent as a color rather than being the main focus color, if that makes sense. All right, you do have the large massive crown guard as you would find on basically any Panerai. It basically protects that winding crown very nicely at the 3 o'clock position. And for this watch specifically, we do have the chronograph pushers at the 8 and 10 o'clock positions of the case. I'll show you how those work in just a moment. All right, taking a look here at sort of the front of this case, we do have satin brush finishing as well, sort of going around the case, sort of following the curvature of the case here, going past the lugs as well. The lugs themselves also vertically satin brushed, going along with the direction that they are going in. Okay, and the side of the case, satin brush finishing as well, gives a very nice sort of texture to the overall case here as you wear it. And also on the back here, should also mention that there is a sapphire crystal as well, flat, but has a wave motif pattern on there. So if I hold it at this angle, you can actually see it reflect off at the bottom of my light box here with the Panerai, sort of the abstract logo there, sort of the pictorial abstract logo center on the sort of wave motif here. Very interesting and quite nice from Panerai. It's a shame that you don't get to see this unless you actually take the watch off. Okay. Now, taking a look here at this bezel, a nice high polish gold bezel matching that of the construction of the case. Nothing much else to say here. It sort of gives it that glowing look depending on the angle of light, and if you get it just right, it looks absolutely gorgeous. All right, so my hand is sort of covering up the light pattern there, but you can kind of see, at least for the 3/4 of this bezel, it does glow very brilliantly, and when it's on your wrist, it glows even better. But I'll show you in a moment once I put it on my wrist and try it on for you. Now, taking a look at this dial here, this is basically where all of the action happens. Well, it's where all the action happens for every dial, really. So it's what they call the Blue Notte dial, or the Blue Night dial. It's almost a midnight blue. It's incredibly dark. If you can actually look at the auto exposure on the screen here, you can tell that the case is extremely bright. It's blown out, and that's due to the auto exposure from the camera, so it can actually show you the blues here. If I zoom out and capture a more average exposure, it gets really dark. So it very much lives up to that sort of name, the Blue Night, or almost a midnight blue. It's incredibly dark, but it has all the subtleties that come with something so luxurious. And looking here at the inner bezel, you do have the tachymeter or the tachymeter, depending on how you pronounce it. Basically works like a Rolex Daytona, so it works with the chronograph functions. The center-mounted chronograph hand, as you can see, I have pointing at 40 seconds there. Basically, we have a bunch of videos that talk about chronographs and the tachymeter. I'm not going to go over it too much here, but it basically works as you would expect. Taking a look at the hands here, also matching red gold or Goldtech, as they call it, the proprietary blend of gold and other alloys to make it a very, very strong rose gold while still maintaining that high polish. All right, and also we have along the minute track tiny graduations so that you can basically be within about 1/8 of a second when it comes to the chronograph functions here. And speaking of which, I'll cover those right now. So the chronograph functions happen on the opposite end of the case from that of the winding crown. Interestingly enough, very much like the chronograph, the automatic chronographs of the 60s sort of echoes that sort of style, except it's flipped. So in that sense, it kind of follows, but sort of establishes its own flow, because the older watches, the automatic watches of the 60s, had their winding crown on the left side with the chronograph pushers on the right side, but this one has the chronograph pushers on the left side with the winding crown on the right side. So very interesting there, and it's also quite fun to operate the chronograph on the left side. But also keep in mind that the buttons themselves are actually flipped. So the button that you will want to press to start the chronograph will be on the bottom at the 8 o'clock side. So if I press it now, very nice crispy click, right? No weird stuttering starts, no weird stops. It's a very crisp click there, all right? So you can keep it going, and it does actually very slowly progress that 30-minute subdial for the chronograph over time. So it's not a tick up every minute, it's a very slow progression that follows the chronograph hand. So very interesting, very good, and very good sign of accuracy from Panerai there. You also have the small seconds hand at the 9 o'clock position, keeping time just constantly going. All right, and when you want to stop the chronograph and reset it, press the 10 o'clock button after stopping the chronograph to reset the chronograph hand, center mounted, as well as the 30-minute subdial. Okay, and taking a look at the crown functions, nothing too out of the ordinary here. Simply lift, or rather raise that lever so that you can then, well, at the space position, you can just wind the watch. So if you're at a dead stop, about 20 to 30 full winds will get you to the full power reserve. Rather simple there. All right, and then just simply pull the crown out to the only other position. It actually stops that seconds hand, and also it does stop the chronograph hand as well. So let me demonstrate that. You have the chronograph hand going, and let's say, well, we need to set the time ourselves here. Pull out the crown, and it actually does stop that chronograph hand. And once you can actually set the minute hand precisely wherever it needs to go. There's no date function here, so no need to worry about that. And based on the position of that seconds hand, if you are using the seconds hand, go ahead. You can set it based on that. Or if you wanted to, you can just completely ignore the small seconds hand and keep that chronograph hand running. Thanks to the vertical clutch on the inside, you can keep it running basically forever if you wanted to. And you can basically control your seconds by using that function. So once you've set the time, just lift the lever and close it entirely in order to start up that seconds hand and as well the chronograph hand. All right, so I'm going to stop and reset it here. All right, so what makes all of this work? It's the movement. You can't see through the case back. I already showed you. It's the automatic and mechanical P9200 caliber made in-house by Panerai. Features 13 and a quarter lines, 6.9 millimeters thick, in other words, 41 joules with a glucidator balance and ankle block anti-shock device. So that basically means you can get relatively close to magnets, magnetism, circuitry, and the like. You can also take a few bumps here and there, and it'll be keeping track of time just fine. No need to worry about the timekeeping abilities of this watch. Features 41 joules and a vibration per hour rating of 28,800 vibrations, meaning 4 hertz. So you have that high level of accuracy as you would find in just about any high-end luxury watch, especially one with a chronograph. All of this allows you to have 42 hours of power reserve within a single barrel. So that's a lot of power reserve with a single barrel. Gives you just about everything you'd actually need. And you can basically wear this every other day and be just fine. You don't even need to wind the watch because it does have a center mounted rotor on the inside, which allows you to basically wear it throughout the day. That will wind it by itself. So you can basically set this down late Friday evening. You can pick it back up Sunday morning and no need to wind the watch, or even Sunday afternoon, and that's totally fine. Just wear it all day Sunday and you'll be good to go on Monday. All right, so also keep in mind that this entire casing here does go down to only 50 meters of water resistance, or 5 bar. That basically means only surface swimmable at best. Certainly wash your hands, and you can wear this in the rain. That's totally fine. Just don't go deep diving with it, otherwise you could implode the case. All right. While I'm zoomed out here, you can also see that this does have an alligator blue strap here with a matching dark blue stitching. All right, so 24 millimeter lug width with a 22 millimeter sort of buckle end piece there. All right, so starting off at the case, you do have larger scales, and the scales get progressively smaller as you reach the end of the strap. You have sizing holes, so you can size it on the fly, should you so desire, and also satin brush finished buckle, nice and large, as you would find on a Panerai. Rather typical here, so nothing too different here. You have 2 minder loops, the first one being stationary, the second one being, able to slide so you can actually size it yourself. All right, and while I'm here, I can actually show you a couple more things. Taking the strap, okay, so let me do this off camera so I don't break the strap. Not that it would break at all, because the strap is actually incredibly resilient. It's super strong, if my camera would like to focus here. Has sort of like a calfskin underneath, feels incredibly soft, and the matching blue stitching does go all the way through. All right, and it's incredibly thick as well, so this definitely will last you a very long time. It'll develop its own patina and look absolutely gorgeous over time. Okay, now also taking a look underneath the buckle here, you do also have hallmarks here signifying that you are working with rare metals, in other words, red gold here. All right, now while I'm here, I can try it on, give you an idea of what it looks like on a 7-inch wrist at least. All right, so if I size this to my own wrist, I could actually go to the second hole here, but I'll take it to the third just in case. All right, now taking a look at it straight on here, if I can zoom out here. Now, the 44 millimeter case does wear very wide. It has a very wide stance on the wrist thanks to the large crown guard and the chronograph pushers. So it sort of gives it that sort of visual spatial effect of being closer to like a 50 millimeter watch. It's absolutely gigantic on my wrist. If you have a larger wrist, this will fit you just fine. And certainly it's fine if you have a smaller wrist like 6 1/4 or even lower than that, because these straps do actually, bend, or they pivot in place, so you can basically wear this regardless of your wrist size. The smaller your wrist, the bigger the wrist presence. The larger the wrist, well, the smaller the wrist presence, but I won't say it's that much smaller because it's incredibly large, because it's a Panerai. You can't really expect much more than that. It's just a large watch in general. Incredibly easy to read as well, and with the luminescence here, let me show you that. It has its own sort of a luminescent disc underneath the dial there. That's sort of what gives it that sandwich dial look. Every aspect of this in luminescence here. If I can just cover it up even more, you can see it's incredibly bright and a slightly different tone of green for the minute and hour hands as well. Let me zoom in there. So minute, hour, and the seconds hand have a slightly off tone green, so that you can differentiate those much more easily as you are, watching this or looking at this in low light situations. Whereas the rest of the numbers here, the 12 and 6 Arabic numerals, as well as the index hour marks, and the 30-minute or the 10-minute marks for the sub dial for the chronograph, and the sort of 15-second marks for the small seconds hand, all share the same index hour mark colors there for the luminescence. All right, turning the lights back on. Again, incredibly easy to read because of the dark blue, the luminescent disc underneath. A very, very nice, sort of like a cream color white when you look at it in the light. And again, a nice glowing green in the dark. Incredibly easy to read regardless of your lighting situation. And taking a look down the wrist here again. On my wrist, it fits quite nicely. A tiny bit of overhang of the lugs there. Again, if you have a larger wrist, these will hug your wrist. Not that that's that much of an issue. With a sort of a larger wrist, you will actually be able to utilize all of these sizing holes, should you so desire. No problem there. All right, and granted, it does also come with a dark blue rubber strap. Sort of matching this color, but in other words, actually more matches the lighter sort of values of the dial here. So the alligator leather strap closer to the midnight, the rubber strap closer to the lighter sort of early evening or very early morning sort of light blues of this dial, as you can, if you can imagine. All right. Now, taking this off my wrist, it does feel a little bit heavy because, well, it is a gold watch. It's a Panerai. You can't expect a very light watch on your wrist, but given that it is all solid gold construction or gold alloy, it's pretty light for what it is. It's very much matching the sort of steel models that I've ever tried on my wrist. So, including the steel model with the bracelet, it has the same sort of heft to it. All right, but that's enough of what I think. What do you guys think about this watch? Let us know down in the comments below what you think about this Panerai Luminor Chrono Goldtech with the blue Notte dial. Reference number PAM01111 or PAM01111, PAM01111, whatever you want to call it. It's 4 ones. All right. Let us know down in the comments below what you would wear this for, where you'd wear it, etc. And let's get a discussion going on that. And also, if you happen to enjoy this video or if you learned something, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you can be notified when we go live with another video. Hit the bell notification as well. And as always, if you'd like to purchase this watch or any other watch, visit our store at jazztime.com. Links in the description below where you can get it for the lowest possible price anywhere online. Take care. We'll see you in the next video.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.